Hey everyone, a couple weeks ago, Angela and I did an episode all about how to select the perfect project management system for you. And then we did a longer episode all about specific project management systems. But it was so long, we had to break it in two. So check out last week if you want part one, and stay tuned. This is part two.
Balancing building a successful business and being a superstar mom is hard, and yet, in today's digital world, it's more common than ever.
The question becomes, how do we successfully grow a business and children at the same time?
Join us for a candid conversation as we share our insights into marketing and motherhood. I'm Angela Reeder.
And I'm Jessie Valle. Welcome to the Marketing Moms Podcast.
All right, the next one is Airtable, and I know Angela has a ton of experience with that.
Yes.
To be honest, Airtable to me is like a souped up spreadsheet.
It is. That's what it is. It's a souped up spreadsheet. Don't get me wrong, I like Airtable. There is definitely a place for Airtable in business, but I will never quite be on board with the whole Airtable as a project management system thing.
Mm-hmm.
Partly because I built a project management system on an Airtable that was based on a project management system that I built on a Google Sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be helpful because it has the customizable views. So you can have one list with all of the things on it, and everybody can kind of filter out their own tasks, which is nice. But like Asana, ClickUp, pretty much everything else does that automatically.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you are someone who, for one reason or another, decides, forget all the others, I want to build my own solution, go to Airtable. I bet you can build your own solution.
Yes.
It's going to take you hours and hours and hours, but you go for it.
It is.
That's
and
kind of the whole point
easy.
of some of the others.
Like I've used Airtable for not project management system stuff, and I love it. I love that you can connect the boards from one to the other.
Mm-hmm.
You can do custom formulas. It really is like a souped up spreadsheet.
Yeah.
But the downside to that with the project management is that it's very easy to break.
Yes.
Which is what we ran into on the team that I was on, where I put together the Airtable, is that somebody would click a button or change a setting that they thought just changed it for them, and it would like break the whole table. Yeah. So now that was a couple years ago. They may have fixed that by now, but it's always funny to me to see Airtable on project management lists. Like you can, but you can also use Google Sheets.
I was going to say, that's like having, a Google spreadsheet on the list. Like, sure you can, but it is the clunkiest of clunky.
Yeah. There are so much better things to use Airtable for than project management.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, Airtable is great for a lot of other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, project management is just, it can, but we wouldn't recommend it. But hey, it might be your thing, so that's why we're mentioning it.
Yes.
Okay, so the next one, I don't actually know how it's pronounced. Is it Hira or Jira?
I don't know, and I feel like I should.
Jira.
Because I'm looking, it says it's for developers, so I feel like I should know how it's pronounced.
Yeah, I've actually seen developers use this. It's an agile software, really, for development teams.
That's why I have it.
So I'm not like, I feel like I'm more of a front end developer, and this is a lot more for like the back end developers.
I was gonna say, as soon as you said agile, I was like, oh, that's why I haven't used it. Yeah, because I'm more of a front end developer, and I don't need that sort of.
Right. So it's definitely built for like developers, engineers who really need that agile.
Yeah, building out roadmaps and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so if that's your thing, check it out, and maybe get on Instagram or in our community Discord and let us know how you pronounce it.
Yeah, for sure. Although our community's not on Discord anymore, but yeah, go to your community.
That's right. We moved. I forgot. Oh, and it was so exciting too.
So go to the community.
Go to the community. I forgot we moved.
Yeah.
Oh, can we say where we moved it to? Is that okay?
Sure, why not? We moved it to
Okay, so
ClickFunnels.
we moved it to ClickFunnels. We moved it to the new ClickFunnels,
Mhm.
which I'm allowed to say. Um, I love the new ClickFunnels. I'm so excited about it. I got to play with it a little bit the other day, and
Hey.
it was so fun, and it does all the things. I'm very excited that we've moved everything over there.
Good, good. Yeah, I have enjoyed using it for personal use, for sure. I have several clients that use it, so I
Mhm.
feel um, okay. It's no secret. I work for ClickFunnels. That's my day job, but I use it for personal use as well. So it's
Yes.
something that I don't just use during my day job. I actually like it and use it for personal use as well. So
Yes.
I have really enjoyed being able to move over to ClickFunnels.
So
I
many
use the
clicks.
clicks, ClickUp and
So many
ClickFunnels.
clicks. Yes.
So
And I
many
do
clicks.
not work for ClickFunnels, so I can say all I want that it's amazing and I love it.
Well, I appreciate that because sometimes I feel like it's like a baby of mine because I influence the
Yes.
platform so much and I talk with the developers on a daily basis. But um, anyway, so yes, so that's what it's like. I love ClickFunnels for our pages and our products and our
Mhm.
membership and our community and all these things in one. But the one thing it doesn't have is project management. So that's why it's really nice to
Yes.
have just,
I was just about to say that's the one
yeah.
thing ClickFunnels does not do is project management. Although
Hmm.
give it a little bit of time, it'll probably start
And
showing up
who
on this
knows? Who
list.
knows? Maybe I'll put a bug in someone's ear. Okay. So that was Jira,
Jira
Jira.
something.
All
I feel like
right.
it's the GIF thing all over again.
Oh my gosh, don't even get us started. Okay, so the next one is called Height, which I had actually never used before, but it was on one of a couple of the lists that I took a look at. So it really seems like it's got a lot of AI features.
Mhm.
So if you're into allowing AI to help you because you're not so micromanagey, it can create subtasks, suggest task improvements, auto detect duplicate tasks, all these things.
Mhm.
It can do a lot with AI. Personally, I'm too much
Yeah.
of a control freak to allow AI. Like even over in, I meant to tell you, Asana
Yeah.
recently launched like AI features and I can
Yeah.
click subtasks and it could create the subtasks for me. I don't use it because I'm like, no, I don't want AI to figure it out.
Right.
Like I want it to do what I want it to do. So,
Yes. I would be worried that it would forget something, especially if
mhm.
I were working on a team and I were trying to assign tasks to other people. I
Yes.
would worry that it would.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess I don't know till we start to use it and maybe it will
That's true.
learn your tendencies. I don't know.
I'm not I like AI. I'm like I know we've had a conversation about that. Like I use Chat GPT sometimes. I use
Mhm.
Dolly sometimes, but I'm leery of it in a
Yeah,
lot of ways. I don't
me too.
necessarily want it in my project management system. And I know going back to the Amazing Marvin, they actually did bring it up to their community one time about integrating with Chat GPT or
Mhm.
adding AI features, and a lot of the Amazing Marvin users were like, "No, I don't want that in my project management."
Mhm. Interesting.
So it's interesting to see the other end of that where you let AI pretty well take over.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, the next one is Monday.com. Now,
I've
I
used
have
this one too.
actually, huh?
I've used this one too.
Yes, so have I. I've used Monday. I like Monday. It's it's like another Asana or ClickUp, but it's more focused on customizable table based.
Mhm.
So if you like the idea of a Google spreadsheet and then maybe you tried Airtable and you're like, wait, I want it
Yeah.
to just do these things for me, maybe Monday is a great solution for you.
Yeah.
It also has a free version, lots of integrations. It is, user friendly. I just find that it's a little more new and
Hmm.
clunky compared
Yeah.
to Asana, who's very
It is a little
established in the field.
clunky. It's very good if you have teams that require a lot of collaboration where you don't have necessarily like this team member doing this thing and this team member doing this thing. If there's a
Hmm.
lot of, um, you know, my task, my task depends on this person's task, depends on that person's task kind of collaboration, Monday can be really useful. But it is
Oh,
very
yeah, the
clunky.
dependencies. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But again, Asana can do dependencies too.
that's
And that's
true.
one of the
Yes.
reasons I'm like considering moving over to Asana because it's like, wait a minute, everything I wished it had had a few years ago, it has now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Asana's definitely upped their game lately.
I know they've really upped their game. So, I mean, I am not like a super affiliate for Asana or anything, but man,
Yeah.
I mean, what am I saying? I don't even pay for it yet. And I'm over here like, maybe I might start.
Maybe I will.
Yeah. Okay. Next is Zoho Projects,
I've played
which
with this one
again, it's
too.
one that I saw on a couple different lists. So I thought I would mention it. It has a lot of customization and it connects
To everything.
to like everything. Now, Zoho itself is a company that owns a lot of different apps. And
Yeah.
so, of course, this would bring it all together. So, like, for example, I've used the Zoho Mail um,
Mhm.
before. I know they have CRM and like, so
Yeah.
Zoho is one of those things that has a lot of different projects, or
Mhm.
sorry, a lot of different apps. And so if you use a lot of the Zoho apps and you want to bring it all together into one, Zoho Projects makes sense.
Yes. I've used Zoho Projects. I was
Oh,
on a team that used it. Um, it does have a ton of integrations. It is very customizable, but it's not as intuitive as some of the other
mm,
things. It's not as easy to use. And also, because it is so customizable, it's easy to like lose tasks.
mm,
Um, we had that problem with the team where people would kind of customize views, and because this task hadn't been tagged a certain way or hadn't been assigned to a certain person, it just kind of didn't show up on anybody's boards.
mm,
So we ran into that a couple times, but overall, it was really good for, again, collaboration, a little bit like Monday. It was really easy to add dependencies or put notes. We had a section in there where I could leave notes for the supervisor or for, my team leader,
mm-hmm.
to let them know what I needed, and then they could like reply back right in the task, which was really nice. Which again, Asana does that, but
Yeah, yay.
but it was
Um,
still nice.
yeah, it's still nice. Okay, the next one, and at this point, I'm kind of just like running through these because we're getting to the point where a lot of these do the same thing. So it's very
Yes.
repetitive. Smartsheet is next. Now, again, Smartsheet is like a souped up
Why do people keep
spreadsheet.
trying to use spreadsheets for project management? If that's your thing, I am not I'm
No, I
not saying
once
anything
I once
to you.
had an
I
argument with
cannot wrap
someone
my head
because
around it.
they were so sure that they could project manage from a spreadsheet. I'm like, you can't. It's just hard.
It's just really hard.
I mean, because when it comes to spreadsheets, you need the ability to have you need to be able to connect other resources
Mhm.
and um, collaborate and have conversations on a specific task, that kind of
Yeah,
thing that a lot of these spreadsheets just can't do.
they don't do.
um, One of the nice things about Smartsheet is it does have a ton of automations.
Okay,
So,
that can be
again, if
helpful.
you want to take the time, here's the other thing. Let's be honest. For busy moms, we don't have time to sit there and play with a
No.
project management system. We just need a place to dump our projects or tasks and go.
Yeah.
And so this is more for someone who has apparently a lot of time to sit down and customize something. But to be honest,
Or
it's probably not us busy moms.
or you have a team member whose most of their job is managing your spreadsheet project manager.
But again, not where I would put my funds if I was going to bring
Not
someone
where I
on.
would put my funds. Speaking as someone who became that person on a team,
That's true.
like, I did not get hired on to manage the project management system, but that is what most, like, a solid 60% of my job was dealing with the
Mostly because
project
people
management
kept breaking
system.
it and you had to keep
Yes,
fixing
because
it.
people kept breaking it.
At some point,
Because
you just got to
spreadsheets are
move to
not
something
the
else.
best project management systems. They're just not.
Okay. The next one is called Notion. And
This
I've
is
actually,
another one.
huh?
This is another one. It's not a project management system.
I was going to say, I've heard of Notion, but I've never heard of it, for project management per se.
I don't know. I've seen it on project management lists, like you were talking about, like the top 10 list and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I see it pop, but it's not a project management system. It's like Google Docs. It's like trying to manage. Now, don't get me wrong. If you are good at Notion, I have seen people make the most beautiful Notion boards with checklists and all kinds of cool things that link to other places. But it really essentially,
That sounds
it's
like more like
mostly
content
text-based.
management, not
Yes,
project
content
management.
management, it would be great. It's mostly text-based.
Mm.
So it's not as helpful, and you can't really assign like the different statuses. I don't know how you can look at other people's stuff and collaborate on a thing, but if again, like the old Trello, or like Trello, if you change a thing, it changes it for everybody. You don't get the individualized like
Yeah.
view of things.
Okay.
I wouldn't personally recommend it as a project management system, and I don't know why it keeps ending up on these lists.
Okay, the next one is teamwork. And I'm trying to find where.
Teamwork is really good if you involve your clients in project management a lot, or if you have to interact with your clients a lot, because it's almost like a combination project manager CRM. You can have whole boards just for your client where they can send you things. They have like a little Dropbox almost where they can put files, send you messages. If you are someone who interacts a lot with your clients as far as project management, teamwork can be really helpful. Now, most of my clients just email me stuff. So
Yeah.
So it's not especially, but if you have a team, especially where a lot of different people are interacting with the same client, then I would give teamwork a try.
Yeah. And that brings us to the last one on this particular list. There are many more, but anyway, Basecamp, which I've used in the past, which is very similar to that teamwork style.
They are.
There's a client view and a team view. So like the team can have different, like the team is allowed to project manage what they're doing without the client getting in the way, basically.
Right.
And so then there's the client view where they can have certain side conversations and file sharing, and it's a lot cleaner without them seeing the weeds behind the fence.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's also helpful because sometimes you don't want.
Right.
Because they're going to come in with a weed whacker and you're like, no, I need that to grow
just
more.
Leave it alone. Yes. Now, I will say Basecamp is really good for that. You can do something similar in Asana, but it's not native to that. You have to set your project management up a certain way. I had a team once that did that where each client had their own like list in Asana that they could access, and they couldn't access all our other stuff. But where it got messy was if we needed to talk to the client about a task, we would go into that task and like talk with the client and comment in that. But
Mhm.
if we needed to talk to each other about that task without the client knowing, there had to be like a whole separate list
Yeah.
with a separate task to talk about. And it got really messy.
Yeah, which is why using messaging apps like Slack could be useful. Slack is not project management. Slack is communication.
Yes.
And maybe we should have a conversation about communication apps.
Yeah.
But a lot of the project management systems are trying to bring that communication in. For example, Asana now, for each board or list, there is like a running conversation.
Right.
But that's not like, that's just like on the project as a whole. So it can get messy very quickly.
Yeah.
And of course, you could have conversations directly on the tasks, which a lot of these do.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then there was
where Teamwork and Basecamp kind of beat those out is that you can have those private conversations about a task and keep it like clean without involving the client.
I do have one more that I want to add to the list, and it's called Hive. According to their website, Toyota, Starbucks, EA Sports, Google, Comcast, they all use Hive. So it might be something worth looking into. It looks very clean, and I don't know. I'd be interested to take a look at it.
Yeah, that seems interesting, especially if you have a bigger team.
Yeah, it does have a free plan. So this is kind of cool. On the paid plan, you even have things like time tracking, Zoom and Slack from Hive. So that right there, it's bringing together project management and messaging and collaboration that way. Yeah, so it feels very flexible for. Although here, flexible add-ons for paid plans, you have to pay extra for some automations and extra for analytics and extra for security. I'm just like, a lot of these are just.
That reminds me of a particular e-commerce thing that, well, this is our private podcast, so I get to say it. WooCommerce is that way.
I was going to say WooCommerce.
If you use WooCommerce, it's free, but if you want to do anything with it, you're going to have to pay for the add-ons, and those can get really pricey.
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah. So, personally, I'm not ready to move to something like that, but hey. Again, these were just a few. There are so many more out there, mostly because, here's what I'll say, because the best project management system is the one that works best for you. There are so many people out there that are like, I would love my project management system only if it did this. And guess what? Then they go off and build that thing. And then we're left with hundreds of project management systems. So if you wish it only did this, chances are there's one out there that does it, or you're going to build it yourself.
That does that. Or you can build a spreadsheet.
Of course. I will say, though, that at the end of the day, for us busy moms, one of the ones we've mentioned on this list is probably good enough.
Probably going to work. Yeah.
So take it, leave it. Hey, if you have other thoughts, or you're using something that we didn't have a ton of experience with, or something you are just, that's the other thing about project management systems. People will die on the sword
Yes.
defending their project management system. Because why? Because it's what they need and they love, which is not what you need and you love. So it's totally okay for you to not love what other people love.
Yeah.
So if there's something you love, please share it with us. Talk about why you like it. Maybe we can give it a try in the community, because we would love to have that chat with you. Let's chat it out.
Yes.
Okay. Any other thoughts on project management systems before we wrap this up, Ange?
Oh, no, I think we pretty well covered it.
All right. Well, then I guess we can move on.
Thank you for joining us today. We're so honored this is where you chose to spend your time.
If this episode helped you in some way, please share it with another mom who needs to hear it. We're in this together.
And if you're ready for next steps, free goodies, and more, head over to marketingmomspodcast.com.
We'll see you next week.